Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
I hope I'm audible. So we start. This is a doubt session. It's an open session. So you guys can go ahead with your doubts.
Can you explain little bit summary about our week?
Sorry, what?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am. Can you explain summary, little bit summary? I have some doubts regarding it.
Is any topic from week 2 not being? Is it something left from week 2 that's not being discussed in the summary session? We can discuss that here.
Yes,
And
ma'am. That was distance between the parallel lines and uh, best line fit. That was something.
so firstly, what are the forms of parallel lines? Let's say that is plus
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
is it fine now?
Yeah.
Let's say this is one equation. This is one line that's given to you. And if you have give the equation of line that's parallel to this line.
I guess your
Ma'am,
voice
your
is
voice is not clear.
Ma'am, it's
Still
very slow.
buffering.
And we can't hear you.
suppose you
Is
have
it like the
placed your,
lagging, the voice lagging issue, or is it?
no, I guess you have placed your mic at a very distance, so your voice is inaudible.
Okay, so it's just the. Is it better now? My voice better now? Is it clear now?
Yeah,
Yes,
little
ma'am.
bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Let's say you have been given this line, then the other line that you have, because you have from here, this line, you will have the slope equals to minus a by b, right? The slope of this line is minus a by b. So you would need to have the same slope for the other line. If that line is parallel to this given line, right? So the equation of the other line should be ax plus by plus some other constant here. So let's just call this constant c1. Let's call the other constant c2. Now these two lines are parallel to each other. If you've been given the general equation of one line, that's how the general equation of the other line looks like if it's parallel to the given line, right? So now let's discuss about the distance between these two lines. So the distance between two lines, two parallel lines, firstly you need to make sure that they're written in the general form. So this is the general form of line ax plus by plus c equals to 0. And then the distance is given by c2 minus c1 mod by square root of a square plus b square. That's the distance between your two parallel lines.
क्या था?
Let's do one example on this. Let's say you have
Ma'am,
one line
what's
3x
C2
plus.
minus C1? Can we do example?
Yeah, we're doing one example here. Let's say one line is given to you, 3x plus 2y plus 1 equals to 0. This is the general. If you want to find the distance between two parallel lines, then you first thing you need to keep in mind is just write the general equation of that line. So if it's given to you like this, minus 3 by 2x minus 1, then you're supposed to write it in whatever the, if it's written in some other form, if it's written it in y is equals to
What's the
mx
formula you
plus
have
c
written?
form.
Sorry, but what's the formula that you have written?
This is the formula for the distance between two parallel lines. If this is the general equation of the first line, this is the general equation of the second line, second parallel line. These two lines are parallel because they only vary. The only thing that varies is the constant. The coefficients of x and y are same. Or so the distance between these two lines is given by c2 minus c1 mod. This is c2 minus c1. This is modulus of c2 minus c1. And then you're dividing this entire thing by the square root of a square plus b square, where a is this, b is this, and c1 equals this.
And what's this? A minus A upon B.
This is the slope. This is the slope of both of these lines. Parallel lines have same slope, right? If you have two lines, one is this line and the other is this line, if they are parallel to each other, then their inclination with x-axis is the same, right? They make the same angle with the x-axis.
Yes.
That's why the tan of both of these angles is same. That's your slope, right? So the slope of both of these lines is same, which is given by, you write, how do you find the slope of, let's say if this is a general equation given to you, how do you find the slope? So what you can do is you can write it in this manner. Y is equals to, keep y on this side and take everything else on the other side. So you have minus ax minus c1 on that side, and then you will divide this entire thing. Right? So this coefficient of x gives you, so when if you write it, we have written this general form in this manner, y is equals to mx plus c. Now if you compare these two things, you will see that the slope is this, right? Minus a by b.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Is it fine now?
No.
Yes.
Is this thing clear? How do you find the equation of a line? Sorry, how do you find the slope of a
Ma'am,
given
but
line,
from where did
straight
the
line?
M came? From where did the M came?
You have different forms of lines, right? One is your, now this is the general form of line. You write it in slope form. This is slope intercept form, right? If you will convert your general form into slope intercept form, you will be able to see the slope. This was the general form of your line. This is the slope intercept. If you will compare this line with this general equation of slope intercept form, what is c equal to? What is this c equal to?
Not
You have to compare these two. Y is
Cons-
equals to minus a by bx plus,
constant.
minus c1 by b, right? This is the slope intercept form of this line. Please mute yourself. Whoever's muted themselves, please mute yourself. And this is the general equation of slope intercept form for any straight line, right? So if you have a line y equals to mx plus c, m gives you the slope and c gives you the y-intercept, right? This gives you the y-intercept, correct? So if you will compare compare this equation to this other equation, this one, then what is c equals to from this equation?
constant.
What's the constant here? What's the constant in this equation?
B.
It is y intercept.
C1 by, it's minus C1 by B, right? If you will compare, this is the exact same form written here. Y, mx, in place of m, you have minus A by B. And in place of the C, y-intercept, you have minus C1 by B, right? So this gives you, if this is the equation of your line in slope-intercept form, then this is the y-intercept of your line. And this is the slope of your line. Is that okay?
Okay. I think if you will do questions, I will understand better.
You have, let's say you have
One
this
more
line.
thing, how we are
Yes.
gonna find the like C2 minus C1 mode?
We'll do that. We'll do this entire thing here. Let's say you have this line and you have to find the slope of this line. And how do you find the slope of this line?
Pardon?
How do you find the slope of this line? Let's say you've been given this straight line. How do you find the slope of this?
By the formula you gave mx plus e.
Yeah. First, you convert this equation into y is equals to mx plus c.
Yeah.
So for that, you need to isolate y and get everything on the other side, right? So this will be
Yeah.
minus 3x minus 1
3x.
by 2 by 2.
It will be minus
But
3 by
why?
2.
Oh, why we divided by 2? Okay, we just
Because
okay. Understood.
the equation of our line should look
Yeah.
exactly like this one. This is our aim. So your slope should be equals to minus 3 by 2. And the y-intercept for this line. So if this is your line y is equal to mx plus c, then the slope is minus 3 by 2. And the y-intercept is minus half. That means y equals to minus half and x equals to 0, right?
Okay.
So your line crosses this point. And because your slope is negative, that's why it should be this. When you have a negative slope, then your theta is obtuse. We'll come to that one later. Now, the slope part is clear to everyone, right? Now let's come to the parallel line. A line that is parallel to, can someone tell me a line that's parallel to this given line? There are a lot of lines, infinite number of lines that are parallel to this line. Let's just do one line.
6x plus 4y plus
plus some constant.
Yeah, you can do some constant here. But if you were to take common, then this becomes 3x plus 2y plus some constant by 2, right? So let's just pick a constant here. Let's not change these coefficients because it ultimately it reduces to this form. So the other line that we're taking is 3x plus 2y plus, let's take 2 here. So this is one line given to you. This is the other line given to you. These two lines are parallel, right? And to apply the distance formula for two parallel lines, you need to have, so if one of your line is in this form, ax plus by plus c equals to 0, then you need to make sure that the other line that you're going to take is they have the same coefficients. X and y have the same coefficients, right? Don't change the coefficients of x and y. Now let's say you have the line 6x plus 4y equals to plus 2 or plus 4 equals to 0. If this is your line, someone suggested this, right? So we're going by this only. 6x plus 4y plus 4 equals to 0. Now what you do is you want both the lines to be in this form, right? You want both your lines to apply this formula. The coefficient of x and y in both the lines should be same, right? So if one line is this, 3x plus 2y plus 1, then the coefficient in other line of x and y should be the same as these ones, right? So if you have 3x plus 2y plus 1 equals to 0 and you want to apply the formula, then you should keep the coefficients of x and y in this equation the same, right? So we'll make them same. 6x plus 4y plus 4 equals to 0. We'll divide this entire thing by 2. So this becomes 3x plus 2y plus 2 equals to 0. Now the coefficient of x is 3 in both equations, coefficient of y is 2 in both equations. That's what we want. So we're going to consider this general form. This is for line 1. This is for line 2. Now let's apply the formula. So the formula is, what's the constant in this one, this equation?
Minus 1.
The constant is 1, right? If you were to compare this with ax plus by, what we were doing was ax plus by plus c equals to 0 and c1. And ax plus by plus c2 equals 0. So first, if you've been given any two parallel lines, you write them in this order, in this manner, such that the coefficient of x and y both are same. And the constants, they can
Minus 1.
vary, right?
Minus
So what's, now compare this equation with this one. The formula was c1 minus c2 by square root of a square plus b square. What is c1? Let's say this is your first line, this is your second line. Compare this with this one. What's C1?
1 minus 2. C is 1. C1 is 1. C2 is C2 is 2.
Also 2 minus 1.
And what is A? A is 3. If you compare
3.
these two, and B is
2.
2. Now you just have to substitute these things in this formula. That's so this will give you 1 minus 2 by square root of B squared plus U squared. So this is 1. 9 plus 4 gives you 1 by square root of 30. The key point here is if you have been given two parallel lines, make sure that they're written in this manner, in this format. If you have to find the distance, you need to apply this formula. And for this formula, this C1 is this one. So you need to make sure that one equation is in this form and the other equation is in this form. And for every pair of parallel lines, you can write one equation in this form and the other in this. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we move to the sum of squared errors part? We have any doubt in this particular section? Can we move to the next part, the sum of squared errors?
Yes, ma'am. SSE part.
Let's say you've been given some set of points. Then the idea of best fit line is you need to fit a line here such that the distance of these points from this line gets minimized. That's our idea, right? And for that, we find the sum of squared errors. So sum of squared errors is, let's say you have been given a line y is equals to mx plus c. Or should we take a particular line instead of taking the general form? Let's take y is equals to x plus 1. And let's take the data given to you. So take x. For 1, let's say here you have 2. For 2, let's say here you have 4. 3, let's say here you have 4. And for 4, let's say here you have 6. Then to find the sum of squared errors is basically you point these, let's say these are the points. We're assuming that these points are these ones, right? 1, comma 2, 2, comma 4, 3, comma 4, and 4, comma 6. Let's say these are these points. These 4 points, okay? And then this line, let's say this is this line. So for you to find the sum of squared errors, what you do is you keep the x coordinate fixed. So the x coordinate is this, right? The x coordinate for this is this distance. And the y one is this distance. And you change the y, you shift the y to this point. So you try to bring this point to this line. You try to bring this point to this line, keeping the x coordinate same. Try to bring this point to this line, keeping x coordinate same. When you will push this point to this line, the x coordinate won't change, right? Because we're only changing the height. So only your y will change. That's what we do in sum of squared errors. So let's say this is your line. To find the sum of squared errors for this, you first put y here. We'll make a separate table for y cap, separate row for y cap. So y cap is basically, let's say this is the point 1, comma 2. And what we're doing is we're trying to shift this 1, comma 2 on this line. How do we do that? If this is the line y equals to x plus 1, and this is the point 1, comma 2, and you want to shift this point so that the x coordinate remains same, and this point is shifted to this line, then how do you do it? Your x coordinate remains same, so you will keep x equals to 1 here. And your y will be 2, right? So if you shift this 1, 2 point on this line, you will get 2, 2, right? So your y is 2. That's what we do with other points too. This is the geometrical representation of this best fit line. And you don't need this to do questions. The questions are done in this manner where you take the line and you substitute x equals to 1 here and get the y cap. So these are the observed. This is the original data. And this is what you get when you put x equals to 1. This is the y that you get when you put x equals to 1. So if you put x equals to 2 here in this line, you will get y equals to 2 plus 1. So you'll get 3, right? This becomes 3. Then next for x equals to 3, you put x here in this line. So this becomes 4. And for x equals to 4, you put x here, 4 plus 1, so you get 5. So this is 2, this is 3. At x equals to 3, the y cap that you get is 4. At x equals to 4, the y cap that you get is 5. Is this much clear to everyone? The calculation of y cap. How do you calculate y cap? Okay. And then the sum of squared errors is given by this. Yi minus yi cap squared. So that means you subtract this from this. So you get 2 minus 2 and then you square it. Subtract this from this,
And
square it.
3 minus 4.
Then you subtract this from this or this from this because you're going to square it. So it doesn't matter. You do 3 minus 4 or 4 minus 3. It's going to get squared. So the sign will be positive only. And then 4 from 4. So you'll get 4 minus 4 squared. And then
5 minus 6.
this is 0. This is 1. This is 0 again. This is 1. So your sum of squared errors is 2. Is that okay? If instead you had
Yes,
some other
ma'am.
line, you just have to calculate yi cap. If you have y is equals to mx plus c, then put x equals to 1 here. Then y1 cap is going to be put x equals to 1. So you'll get m plus c. Y2 cap will be 2m plus c. Y3 cap will be 3m plus c. Is that okay? And then the other way your questions can be framed is, you might not have one of these values. Let's say this value is missing. This observation is missing. And you've been asked to find this, then you will be given sum of squared errors. Let's say your sum of squared errors is 36. Or 36 is just too much, right? Let's take 4. So if your sum of squared errors is 4, and this time initially you had to calculate, this data was given to you, a line was given to you, and the data was given to you, right? The entire data. This time you have this term missing, not this one. Yeah, this one. Or you can have this, yeah, you'll have this missing. And your sum of squared errors is given. So you apply the same formula. This time what you'll have is, it will go the same way. You'll have 2 minus 2 squared plus 4 minus 3 squared plus 4 minus 4 squared. And here you'll have t minus 5 squared, right? Where you have to find t. And we know this is sum of squared errors. and the sum of squared errors is given to be 4, right? This becomes 0, this becomes 0, and this becomes 1. So you'll have 1 plus t minus 5 squared equals 4. So you'll have t minus 5 squared equals 3. This will give you square root of 3. So this will be t equals to plus 5 plus minus square root of 3. So you can have two possible values of t, 5 plus root 3 and 5 minus root 3. If t is equal to 5 plus root 3, then also the sum of square errors is 4. If it's 5 minus root 3, then also it's 4. The sum of square errors is 4. Is this fine?
Yes,
Sum
ma'am.
of square errors clear to everyone? Okay. That's all, I guess. These were the two topics left. We've covered them. If you have any doubts in these two particular topics, you can go ahead with those. Otherwise, you can ask doubts from the activity question or wherever you have a particular doubt in summary or from anywhere.
Ma'am, we were shown some method with the derivatives also. And if the equation given is higher in polynomial equation, then how to go about it?
Sorry, what? Can you repeat your question?
Ma'am, some like earlier in the TA session, we were shown some derivative method to
In
find
this,
out minimum and maximum, sir. And if the equation given is higher in the degree of polynomial, then how to go about it? Like if there is an equation which says x cube plus x square and something like that,
okay.
then how to go about it?
What do we have to do of this equation? What's your exact question? Is it about derivatives?
No, ma'am, it is about finding the sum of squared errors.
Okay, then you must be talking about finding one of these values where the equation, let's say you have been given mx plus 3. If you have been given this equation and then you've been given the data and sum of squared errors. Let's say the data given to you is let's take anything. If this is the data and if you have to find, and this is the best fit line given to you and the sum of squared errors is given to you, let's say sum of squared errors is given to you as 6, then how do you find m? If you're talking about this thing, then we'll be involving quadratic equations in this, where you will have, so we'll go by the same method. We know the sum of squared errors is, you'll put 1 here, so you'll get y equals to, if you have to find y cap, for x equals to 1, you will have m times 1 plus 3. So this is m plus 3. Then here you'll have 2m plus 3, right? And then you'll do y cap minus y. So this will be m plus 3 minus 2 squared and 2m plus 3 minus 2 minus 3 squared. This will be 6. So here you have m plus 1. Is this what you're talking about or is it something else?
No, ma'am, it's okay. Understood.
Was it some other question? Then to find m, because you have to, or let's say if your sum of squared errors is also missing. So we know that we need to minimize sum of squared errors. If this is also missing, then you will have to minimize this function. This gives you sum of squared errors, and sum of square errors are supposed to be minimized. Then you'll have to minimize this function. And then you will have to involve derivatives. Was that your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So sum of squared errors it simply means that you have to minimize if this is your best fit line. You have to find the line such that when these points are put here, so only the y coordinate is changing, right? So only this distance, you have to minimize the distance for all of these points. Best fit line means it is closest to all the points. Or you can say the sum of squared errors is least, the minimum. So you have to minimize the sum of squared errors, which for now is the function of m. It's a function of m, right? So to minimize this function, you first find let's call this fn. You first find the derivative of this, and derivative of polynomials is simply just this. If you have a polynomial ax to the power n plus an minus 1, x to the power n minus 1, plus so on, ax. This is your function. This is the polynomial given to you. Then the derivative of this polynomial is n is n minus 1. The derivative of x to the power n is n x to the power n minus 1. So n comes forward and the power becomes 1 less. And this one will become n minus 1, a n minus 1, x to the power n minus 2. And it keeps going on like this. And the derivative of this constant term, this is constant, right? This becomes 0. Let's say if you have been given the polynomial 3x squared plus 4x cubed plus 2, then the derivative of this polynomial is 3 comes forward, 3 into 4.
12x square plus 6x.
Yeah. Then this 2 comes forward and 1 power gets reduced here. So it becomes 2 minus 1, 1. And this just becomes 0. Constant of the derivative of constant is 0. So this becomes 12x squared plus 6x. So in this given case, you have m plus 1 whole square plus 2m squared. And you have to minimize this. This will become 2m plus 1. Or you can just simply, if you want to make it look like the exact polynomial, then you'll have to solve this, simplify this square. So this will become m squared plus 2m plus 1. And here you have 2m squared, right? This will become 3m squared plus 2m plus 1. And to minimize this function, first you find the derivative of this function, which is 6m plus 2. And then you equate it equal to 0. This will be m equals to minus 2 by 6, which is minus 1 by 3. So your m should be equals to minus 1 by 3. Is that
Got it,
okay?
ma'am.
And we've not checked. See, if you'll be given the questions on SSC in this form, so you already will be given an equation where you'll have the maximum. This m will be generally when we solve equations, when you find derivative and equate it equals to 0, then the value that you get for x is, it's not necessarily the point of maxima, it could be the point of minima. But in this case, it's the point of maxima. So sorry, the point of minima. That means for that value of m, the value of the entire function fn gets minimized. Is that okay? For now, you just have to keep in mind that you have to find the derivative, equate it equals to 0, and find the value of m. That's it.
Okay,
We'll
ma'am.
do derivative in later weeks. Okay. Any other doubt?
If we have a hello,
Yeah.
yeah, if we have a equation like in a general form, and we want to find the perpendicular line equation, so how we can do that like quickly? Like
Okay.
in
If you
the
have
earlier
this,
case of the parallel, you shown that c intercept is only changing.
yeah.
So similar to that.
So for perpendicular lines, let's say this is line 1, and you have to find another line which is perpendicular to this, right? So
Yeah.
you'll again have to find the slope of this line. And we have done a method to quickly find the slope of this line. What is the slope of this line? You have to isolate y and take all the other things on that side. So you'll have minus a by b x. You just have to focus on the coefficient of x, right? The slope will be minus a by b, right? So the slope of this line is minus a by b. And we know for perpendicular lines, if L1 is perpendicular to L2, then the slope of, let's say the slope of this is M1, the slope of this is M2. Then the product of the slopes of two perpendicular lines is minus 1, right?
Yeah.
So if the slope of L1 is minus a by b, then what should be M2?
B by
So M2 should be b by a, x, right? So the equation of the line should be y is equals to mx. So in place of the slope, you will have b by a, because the slope of that line is b by a, and the constant you can take to be anything. Is that okay?
yeah, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone have any other doubt? There any doubts from summary or from anywhere, we can discuss those here. Do you guys have you guys tried the questions on the portal? The activity questions, practice questions.
Not yet.
Yes, ma'am. Practice.
Do you have any doubts from there? Any question that you feel like you'd want to ask, even if you've not practiced it yet? And if you've already have, then you know what questions do you have doubts in.
I mean, I have only done only activity question, not the practice one. So in activity question, I have no doubt.
Okay. Does anyone have any doubts from anywhere in week 2?
Ma'am, may I?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I have a doubt in graded assignment of week 1. You please tell that question.
Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah, ma'am, it's question number 12.
Just 1 second. Question 12 from the graded assignment.
Yeah.
Is it this one? Is this your doubt?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And one more is there, I think 13th.
Okay. So this question says Mahesh has 4 sons, and then they further have 2 sons. These two have 2 sons. And we're defining two relations. The first relation says A and B will be in this relation if A, B are cousins. Cousins means that their parents are siblings. So, like these two are cousins, right? And these two are also cousins. And S says A and A is son of B. So, this is other one is where A is, we have the son here. And the father in the Y coordinate on the Y position, right? These two are the relations given to you. And if M is the cardinality of R, then N is the cardinality of N. You have to find N plus N. Let's find the cardinality of both of these. So in R, we'll have S and R, like these two people, Shubh and Ravi. Then we'll have these two, Shubh and Mahendra. Then we'll have these two. Then we'll have these two, Ravi and Mahendra. Then these two. And then finally these two, Mahendra and Rajat, right? Or if you don't want to list them all, you can just do this will be with these three. So it's three from here. This will be with these two, two from here. And this will have one. But we're not defining the order either. So if you have Shubh and Ravi here, so you can have this in R as well, right? So we'll have 3 plus 2 plus 1. This is 6. And you multiply this with 2. So we'll have 12, right? 12 from here, from this one only, from this line. And then you have here 2. So with Yushub, you will have 2. With Navratna, you will have 2. And then you can also interchange the order, right? Yashub and if Yashub and this, if this is in R, then this is
Why
also in
did
R, right?
you multiply into 2?
Okay. What we did here was, let me just erase this entire thing. It's too lengthy to list all the elements here, right? We just saw. We're not even done yet, and we have to list a lot of items. What we do instead is to quickly do this question. You start with Shubh, and then you see what can it go with. The cousins of Shubh, right? So it has this, this, and this. So 3 cousins, right? And Rabi, this has 2 cousins because this has already been covered. Let's just not do this one. So you'll have 2 here. And with this one, you will just have 1. So with these ones, how many have you covered? You have covered Shubh with all of these. Shubh in first position and all these 3 in other positions, right? Then you have covered Rabi in first position and Mahendra Rajat in second position respectively. Then you covered Mahendra in first position and Rajat in the second position, right? But you've not covered Rajat in the first position and Mahendra in the second position. That we've not done, right? In these 6 cases. That's why we're multiplying by 2. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So from this line, you'll have 12 pairs. And from this one, you'll have Yashub with this Rati, then Yashub with Rakesh, then this with these two. So you'll have NR and N Rakesh. So these are 4, right? And then you multiply it with 2 as well. Because RY can also be in this. We've not counted it. The same reason why we're multiplying 2 here. So here you had 4 numbers and you'll multiply it with 2. So you'll have 8 from here, 12 from here. Answer should be 20. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And coming to the second one, this is son and father. So we'll start with this one. It can be a father, right? And then with this one, so first you will have the questions visible, right? It's not, is it too small to see? Okay. So starting with Mahesh as father, you will have Mahesh at the second position, Shubh at first, then Mahesh at first, Ravi at first, Mahesh at second. In this manner, you will have four numbers, right? This with this with this with this, and this with this. You will have four numbers from here, right? Then coming to these, you will have this. Now you can't interchange these. Sm is in this relation S, where this is Shubh, this is Mahesh. This is in this relation, but Mahesh and Shubh is not in this relation, right? Because A has to be the son, B has to be the father, right? So from here you'll have 4, and from this one you'll have 2, and from this one too you'll have 2. You understood why we're not multiplying with 2, right? This time. So this will be 8. Is that okay?
Ma'am, but in R, it is asking about that A is the cousin, A and B are the cousins.
Yeah, so if A is the cousin of B, you'll have AB here, right? This says AB is in R if A is cousin of B, right? And BA will be in R if B is the cousin of A. Now, if A is the cousin of B, B is also the cousin of A, right? That's why we're counting it twice. Is that okay?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other guy? Any other doubt? Anyone else?
I have a doubt in straight line equation, general equation, ax1 plus by1 plus c. You said y is equal to uh, what is it?
You have to, firstly, you don't have to put 1 here because X
Okay,
is just a
sorry.
variable. Yeah.
And then in that equation, you said y is equal to a minus ax plus minus c by bb.
Yeah.
What is the intercept form of x, ma'am? It is slope or want to minus a by b.
This is the general equation of line, right? If you have a straight line, then if you write it in this form, ax plus by, where x and y are obviously variables. This is x and y, right? X and y keep varying. And a and b and
Okay.
c are constants, right? This is the general form of your equation. And for you to find out what is slope intercept form, what does slope means? Slope is the inclination, the tan of inclination that your line makes. So if this is your line, this line makes an
Okay.
angle with the x-axis, right? This angle is theta. Now tan theta is the slope. Theta is called the inclination of this line with x-axis, positive direction of x-axis, and tan theta is called the slope. And this slope, if you have been given the line ax plus by plus c equals to 0, how do you find the slope? You write this line in the slope intercept form. And the slope intercept form is this: y equals to mx plus c, where m is the slope of this line. This is line L1. Then m is the slope of this line, and c is the y-intercept of this line. That means if you have y is equals to, let's say you have the line y equals to x plus 1. That means your y-intercept is 1, and your slope is 1. Now slope is 1 means tan theta is 1. That means your line makes an angle of
92.
what's
Sorry,
the theta
92.
should be 45 degrees, right? Pi by 4.
Ma'am, not the, I'm asking about we can use my m is equal to minus uh, b by a like that.
Ah, you can use that. That's what you have to do. You have to this is given to you, right? You have to bring this equation, this form of equation into this form. So you
Okay.
have to isolate y. Isolate as in you have to keep the constant of y as 1 and everything else on the other side. Y here and everything else on the other side. That means by, keep everything else on the other side, minus ax
Minus.
minus c. And then isolate y. So you'll have minus a by b, x minus c by b. Right? That's it. That's your slope intercept form. Now this is the slope.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
oh, then what is x-intercept, ma'am, in this
For x
equation?
intercept in any line, let's say you've been given fx equals to y, any function, not just a straight line. If you have to find x intercept, put y equals to 0 and solve for x. So for x intercept, wait. For now you're only doing straight lines, right? So put x intercept, for x intercept, put y equals to 0, solve for x. First step, second step. And for y intercept, put x equals to 0 and solve for y. Let's say your line is y is equal, let's say you've been given 3x plus 2y plus 1 equals to 0. So if you have to find the x-intercept, put y equals to 0, you'll get 3x plus 0 plus 1 and solve for x from this equation. So you'll get x equals to minus 1 by 3.
Minus 1 by
So
3.
your x-intercept is minus 1 by 3, comma 0. This is the point. This is the point where this line cuts the x-axis, right? Minus 1 by 3, comma 0. This is where it cuts. I don't know in what manner, but this is where it cuts the x-axis. And where does it cut y-axis? Put x equals to 0 in this equation. You'll get 2y plus 1 equals to 0. Now solve for y. You'll have y equals to minus. Is it okay? This should be on the other side.
Second quadrant, ma'am.
Minus 1 by 3, 0 is here. And minus half 0 is here. Now you already have 2 points here. You can just join these two because if you have only 1 point, there can be infinite number of lines passing through that point. If you have 2 points, both of these points lie on this line, right? So you can join these 2 points to get a unique line. Is that okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, and then angle between two lines.
Do we have angle between two lines in course? Can anyone confirm if we have angle between two lines?
Yeah,
No, ma'am.
we have.
Ma'am, we can use the slope of those two lines to find the angle between two lines using formula m2 minus
Is it
m1
this
divided by
one?
plus m1.
I just remember having this thing where you're the slope, if you have to find the angle and you're using the slope of two lines, then it's this one. Let's say you have line L1 here, L2 here, and this one makes angle alpha, this one makes some other angle. Then the angle between these two is, let's say this L2 line makes angle, this is L2, this is L1. If this makes angle alpha and the other one makes beta, then the angle between these two lines should be beta minus alpha, right? So you'll have tan, yes, which will be tan beta minus tan alpha by
1 plus tan beta into tan alpha.
we need this formula the way. So you know what beta is, right? Beta has been given to you. Alpha. Wait. What type of question do we have? Is it like this, that you have been given ax plus b1y plus c1 equals 0, and then a2x plus b2y plus c2 equals 0, and then you have to find the angle between these two lines? Is it given in this manner? The tan theta, it's basically just m1 minus m2, and you can take the mod to avoid the confusion as to which angle is greater. And you will have 1 plus m1 m2. So if you've been given two lines, just find the slope of these two lines and substitute it here in this equation. And then just do tan inverse here. To find theta, just do tan inverse of m1 minus m2 by 1 plus m1 m2 modulus. Is that okay? If
Okay,
you have been
ma'am.
given L1, L2, you know how to find the slope of this line. We've already discussed it. Find the slope of this one, find the slope of this one, and then use this formula. That's it. If there's a question on this, then we can do that. Does anyone have any other doubt? Should we discuss a question on this one, this formula, or is it fine?
Fine, ma'am. I have a doubt in practice assignment.
Yeah, which
Question
one?
number is third, week 2. Week 2, question number 3.
Just 1 second. Which practice assignment?
Week 2, ma'am.
Extra practice, or you have two things there, right?
No, ma'am. Normal week practice assignment, week 2.
Okay. Third question, is it? Third, right?
Third question.
Just give me 1 second. Okay, so this is the question. And what does it say? We have to find the correct plotting of these five graphs, right? So let's start with this one. Let's have a look at the initial points. Initially, X initially is 1965, but let's not take 1965. At 1965, let's take x equals to 0. That's what they've done, right? They've started the graph from x equals to 0. They're not doing 1965. So let's say 1965, we are taking x equals to 0. And 2015 then should be equal to, so if 1965 is x equals to 0, then 2015 should be equal to 50. So instead of 1965, we use x equals to 0 here. And instead of 2015, we use 50. Then we have y's here for O, C, G, N, and R. These values are given to us, right? Let's take this as x equals to 0 and this as x equals to 50. And to simplify things further, let's do one thing. Let's remove these zeros, these 3 zeros towards the end, because it's complicating things. They'll otherwise get cancelled only. So let's not take them. Let's take 1949, 1738 only. That makes our calculation easier. Why we can do it? Because we have these 3 zeros at the end of everything. So we can do this, right? So at x equals to 0, you have this order. Oil, then coal, O at x0, or you can just simply take 0. O at 0 is greater than C at 0, which is greater than G at 0, which is greater than N at 0, and N at 0 is the same as R at 0. Is this thing fine?
Ma'am.
Let's take here and eliminate the graphs that do not follow this order for initial points. So initially, it's this. You have to check the initial points from here. So N and R should be same. They're same in this one, same in this one too, same everywhere, right? That's fine. Then G0, next should be G, which is correct in every graph. Then next you should have C. This graph should be eliminated, right? Because C is here. According to this graph, C0 is greater than O0, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Look at this. O0 is here. This is O0. This is C0. And C0 is greater than O0. But our data says that C0 should be less than O0. That means this graph has to be incorrect, right? All the other ones seem fine to me. Do we have problems anywhere else? Right. Then let's come to the end points. That is O at 50. So O at 50 is the greatest. Then we have next as C at 50, which is 38,000. Then we have G at 50. And then we have N at 50. Then we have R at 50, right? For the end points. And the end points are here. These one are the end points. O should be, O is the greatest, right? O has the most height in every graph. Then next should be C, but here you have G, right? This is already eliminated anyway. Next you should have C. We have C everywhere, but in this graph, as per this order, you should have C50 next. Here you have N50 next. This is N50 point, right? N50 is, this height is N50 and this height is C50. So as per this graph, your C50 is less than N50. But this says your C50 should be greater than N50. This should be incorrect, right?
Okay, ma'am.
We're left with these two. So the order is O, C, G, and R. And this we have O, C, G, and R. So both of them are following the same order here. Then let's have a look at this graph carefully. This says that the initial point of O and C is same, right? O at 0 is the same as C at 0. O at 0 is simply the height of O when x is 0. So when x is 0, here is x equals to 0. This height is O0. And C0 is also the same height, right? That's why we have O0 equals to C0 from this graph. This graph implies O0 is the same as C0. But our data that we have collected from this table says that O0 is strictly greater than C0, right? O0 is 19,000, C0 is 17,000. They're not
17,000.
equal. Right? They're not equal. That means this graph should be incorrect. And then you're only left with this graph, so this should be the correct.
First graph.
One is
Okay,
the
ma'am. Okay.
we have any other doubts from week 2?
Can you do question 4 as well?
Question from where?
No, the continuing question after this.
Okay, the next one after. Just 1 second. This is the question. It's in continuation to the previous question. So you have to find the data for 2025. So if you're at 1965, you had x equals to 0. And at 2025, your x should be 60, right? So you have to
Yes,
find
ma'am.
the data for x equals to 60. Let's just find the equation of each line first. So one is 0 for oil, then this gas, N. First, have to find the slope of all of these. Let's find the slope first. The slope for O is one point is 19 and 0, and the other point is 50 and 49, right? Sorry, 0 and 19. And the slope is given by y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So notice that your x2 minus x1 is going to be same for all of these, because your x1 you're taking to be 0, x2 you're taking to be 50, right? Everywhere.
Oh yes.
So this will be x2 minus x1 will be 50, and y2 minus y1 will be 49. 49 minus 19, that will be 30, right? So this slope of O will be 30. Then slope of this C1 will be 38 minus 17. So that will be 21, right? 21 by 50. We're simply doing 38 minus 17, and then x2 minus x1 is constant, 50. Then slope for G is going to be this minus this. So it's going to be 22, right? 29 minus 7 is 22 by 50. We're not taking 1000 here, because when you will take it, x is also in terms of But taking this, it won't make a difference. If we just, instead of taking the y in thousands, if we'll take it just in numbers, that's also fine. Because the thousand thing is going to complicate things. It anyway is going to get cancelled. You'll have thousand here, so it will get cancelled. Doesn't matter. 2 by 50. And for the next one, you'll have 6 minus 2, so it's 4 by 50. And for the next one, you'll have 3 minus 2, which is 1 by 50. Right? So these are the slopes. And then if you have to find the equation of OX, how do you find the equation of OX? Slope is 3 by 5. You can take the point to be 0, comma, this, 19. Because if you take this one, then it will even be more complicated. That's why let's just take x0 and the other one 19, right? So this will be
plus y1.
Can't we use a slope formula for this, like the like change in the x is 10 from this point to the next point?
that's what we've done, right? We've
No,
find
no.
slope here.
After it is a slope. Okay, so it's data of 2015.
I can't hear you.
Hello.
Yeah,
Audible?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's the data of 2015. Okay. So we have to find the data of 2025. Okay. So we can to use this. Can we use the slope formula to find the value of y, change in y, because change in x is given to us that it is 10.
your voice is breaking. I can't hear you clearly. Hello. Are you suggesting some other method? Am I audible?
Hello.
Yeah,
Am I audible?
yeah, yes.
Yeah. So I was saying that we have we have the data. We are looking for the data of 2025. Okay.
Yeah,
So the change in x is 10, right? 2015 to 2025.
yeah,
2015 to 2000. So can we use the
yeah.
slope
You can
like
use that. You can use that too. If you are considering this part where you're saying that the slope of this is 49 minus 19, so you'll have how much was it? 30 by 50. And then for this one, if you do, considering these 2 points, so this is x equals to 60 and y equals to O, and this is x equals to 50, y equals to 49. So you will here have 49 minus 0 and 50 minus 60. That will be minus 10. O. Here you can find. That's also fine. Were you suggesting this?
yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. In fact,
Okay.
that's just simpler.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, either you can find the equation of all of these lines. So I have found the equation of this is the equation of OX. In a similar manner, you can find the equation for CX, GX, and NX and all of these. Or you can just simply use this formula where we know that these 3 points, one point is 0, comma 19. The other point is, this is for OX, 0, comma 19. The other point was 50, comma 49, I guess. And the other point you have to find 60, and this you have to find. So to find this point, you can use that these three lie on the same line. So if this is the line, let's say, and there are 3 points, then the slope of this is the same as the slope of this, right? They are the segments of the same line, so they're obviously going to have slope calculating these 2 points or slope calculating these 2 points or slope calculating these 2 points should be same. Any 2 points you can use to find the slope. So first you can find the slope using these 2 points. That will give you 50 minus 0 and 49 minus 90. And then you can find the slope using either these two or these two. This will give you 60 minus 50. This is 10. And this will give you y minus 49. So from here you can find the value of y by solving this. It will give you 30 into 10 by 50 y minus 49. And y is going to be 56. This says that it should be 66. This option should be, but I think you can look for other options. These ones.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
In which part was I audible? Is it clear why this option is incorrect?
Yes, it is clear.
This option, okay. This option suggests it should be 64. O should be 64 for x equals to 60. But we've just find out that this should be 50. That's why this one's incorrect. And you can do the similar thing for the rest. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does anyone have any other doubt? Does anyone still have doubts in this question? We can do this question, the complete question. Because we've not completed it, we've just figured out that the first option is incorrect. Do you want me to do for the other options as well? I need someone to respond.
Yeah, we can do this.
Okay. If you guys have any other doubts, you can ask that. Meanwhile, we are doing this question. So for the other part, at x equals to 0, we're doing this for cx this time. 0, then you had 50, and then you had 60, right? And the value of y is for c at 0 is 17, at 50 is 38, 17, 38, and c, right? This is 17, 38, and c, and you have to find c. And all of these 3 points lie on the same line. So it should be 50. The slope using these 2 points, you'll get 50. And here you'll have 38 minus 17. So it's 21, right? And using these 2 points, or maybe we can use these 2 points. So you'll have c minus 17 and 60 minus 0. So from here you'll have 21 into 6 by 5 plus 17. So it's going to be something in decimals. And this says, yeah, it says 48.5. Let's see if this is 48.5. The table suggests it should be 48 point. Sorry. Yeah. The option suggests that it should be 48.5. Let's see what do we get from here. This will be 2, 5 point something. This will be 2, 5 point something, and it's 17 then. 25 and 35, and this is going to be 42 point something. It's not matching with this option. Is that okay? You don't even have to find the decimal, you can just see from here. 42 point something, it's not matching with 48.5. This option should be incorrect as well. Then for the G1, you have at 0 you have 7,000. At 50 you have how much is it? 29. And at 60 you have to find. Right? So you do the same. Do we need to? Does anyone have any other question? Because it's the same thing we're doing in every function. Does anyone have any other doubts?
I have,
Guys
but
can have,
it is in
yeah.
the week 3.
Or we can discuss week 3 when we'll be
Just a
discussing
small,
week 4.
small doubt.
Yeah.
It's it's a in the like for uh for in a parabola. Okay, so the slope of the point is it is 2ax plus b, 2x plus b, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like you have in the previous terms video, you have no, not in the I mean in the activity solution, you have said that you have solved using the something like dy by dx. I don't know
Yeah.
how that works, how the derivative works in that context. I can give you the specific question.
Yeah. Give me that.
It's a 3.4th question, number 1.
Activity 3.4, right?
Yeah, the stone one.
The height, this is the equation of a parabola that you've been given. H is the height and T is the this horizontal distance, I guess. No, it's the time of flight. T is the time of flight, H is the height, and if the highest point in air that the stone can reach is 5 meters. The highest point is 5, right? That means the highest value of 5, if this is the highest point, then the y coordinate of this point is 5, and we don't know the x coordinate yet. And calculate the initial speed u. So you have to find u. U is the initial speed, and we've been given that the highest point is this, right? For first, what you do is either you find the derivative of this or you use the formula that's given to you. So it becomes minus 10t plus half u. And then we know maximum point that it reaches is, that means that we have not been given x, right? We've just been given the maximum height. So if you solve for t from here, if you equate this thing to 0, you will get t equals to, for the highest point, wait, this is a parabola. So if you've studied, I don't want to get into derivatives because that's not there in the week 3 part. So let's do it with the concepts of week 3. In week 3, you have the point, this point is,
Maxima.
if you have something like this or something like this, then this point, the vertex is given by minus b by 2a, comma f of minus b by 2a, right? So where f here is ht. And if you do minus b, so the equation is minus 5t square plus half ut. This is if you compare it to this ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So c here is already 0, right? And we don't need c anyway. So you do minus b is minus half, and then you divide it by 2a. So your 2a is 2 into minus 5. So you will get half, and here you will have 10. So you'll have 1 by 20, right? So your minus b by 2a is 1 by 20. Oh, wait, we missed this u, right? If we compare this equation, just give me 1 minute. If we compare this equation to this equation, the b is half u and a is minus 5. And if you do b by 2a, minus b by 2a, you'll have minus half u by 2 into minus 5. So this will give you 1 by 20 or u by 20, right?
Yes.
So this point is u by 20. So this maximum point, this point that you've been given is u by 20 and h of u by 20, right? Let's see what h of u by 20 is. H of u by 20 is minus 5 u by 20 squared plus half u and u by 20, right? And this is given to be 5 because this is given to you. Maximum height reached is 5. Then you just have to solve this equation. This is minus 5 u square by 400 plus u square by 40 is equals to 5, right? So from here you will have 10 minus 5 is 5 u square by 400 is equals to 5. This gives you u square equals to 400. So u is equals to plus minus 200. And the initial speed is, you can't anyway take it to be negative, so it's 200. Actually 20. We're taking square root, right? It should be 20. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, anything else? You guys can take 5 minutes. Just go through the questions from week 2 and let me know if there's anything that you have doubted. If you've not tried the questions, please go through the questions and check if
Ma'am,
there are
question
questions.
number 12 and 30. Week 2, practice assignment 2.
12 and 30. Just 1 second, I'll copy paste screenshots. So these two are the questions. We have two questions here. So it says this equation is y is equals to minus 2x, and this is a line that is perpendicular to this. There are 90-degree angle between them, and from this point you have to reach the opposite point, which is this. And you're using two paths. One is via this path, and the other one is via this path. From A to C. So one path is from A to B, and then to the point, let's just call this point P, and then to point P, the required point. And then the other path is A to C, and then to P. So this question asks this one. The first one asks, if you go via this path from A to B and then to P, then how much distance would you be covering? How much total distance does Rahul have to travel to reach his destination? So if this, let's just find out the equation of this line first. If this is y is equals to minus 2x and these two lines are perpendicular to each other, then what should be the equation of this line? The slope of this line, this one, is minus 2, right? So the slope of the perpendicular line should be equals to half, right? So the other equation should, the perpendicular line should look like this: half x plus constant. We don't know the constant yet. But this line, the other line, passes through 0, 0. That means 0, 0 should satisfy this equation. So if you put y and x equals to 0, you'll get 0, 0 plus c. That means your c is 0. That means the equation of this other line is, this line is y equals to half x. Then let's come to the point B, this point. What's this point? We know that this distance is, this vertical distance is 1, right? So this height should be 1. From here to here, the height should be 1. That means the y coordinate of this point is 1. And the x coordinate we don't know. But we've been given the equation. The equation is given to be y equals to minus 2x. And the y coordinate of this point, B point, is 1. And we have to find the x coordinate, right? So we put 1 here. This will be minus 2x. This implies the x coordinate should be equals to minus 1 by 2. Right? So this point should be equals to minus half and 1. This B point is minus half and 1. Similarly, let's just try to find the point C. C is also at height 1. That means the y coordinate of C is 1. And to find the x coordinate, you have the equation y equals to half x. So if I put x equals to 1 here, I'll get y, if I'll put y equals to 1 here, I'll get x equals to 2. This point should be equal to 2, 1. Now we have both the points. We have this point 2. We are just left with this point. What should be this point? We have to reach this point, right? So it's on y-axis. So the x coordinate should be 0, right? And this distance is again 1. That means the height, that means the y coordinate of this should be 1. Are the coordinates clear to everyone? B, this coordinate, then this one 0, 1 and 2, 1. Because we'll be using these to find the distance. And then you don't have to do anything. You just have to find this distance, right? AB plus BP. To find AB, A point is, A is 0, 0. B is minus half, comma 1. And P is 0, 1. And C is given to be 2, 1. So AB plus BP should be the distance between these two, which is minus half minus 0 squared plus 1 minus 0 squared, and then square root of this, plus the distance between these two. This is again half squared plus 1 minus 1 is 0. This is 0. So it should be this. This gives you 1 by 4 plus 1 square root plus 1 by 2, right? AB plus B. We're just simply solving the distance between these 2 points. That's these 2 points and then these 2 points. This is AB, distance of A from B, and this is the distance of B from P. This one, and this one. This is going to be 5 by 4 square root plus half. This is square root of 5 plus 1 by 2. The distance, if you go via this path A to B and then to this point P, then Rahul will have to travel root 5 plus 2 distance, right? No, root 5 plus 1 by 2. This one. And similarly, you have to find the other distance, which is from A to C and then C to P. The distance between A and C is 2 minus 0 squared plus 1 minus 0 squared. This is the distance of A from C. And then from C, then the distance between C and P is, this is C point, this is P point. So it should be 2 minus 0 squared and 1 minus 1 squared, then square root. This is root 5. The other one is just 2. So this should be root 5 plus 2, which is this option. Is it fine?
Understood.
Does anyone have any other doubt? You guys need time to go through the practice assignment questions. Some 5 minutes or something. There are no doubts that we can, I guess, end the session here. Does anyone have any doubts from anywhere in week 2? Theory, questions? Wait, I think I just read a comment and I think we've made a mistake in the relations one that we did here. Yeah, we were supposed to count the cousins, right? And these are these are siblings. We've counted these two, right? It's this one clarification here. Where we were supposed to count siblings, cousins, but we've counted siblings here. The cousins are only these ones, right? Yushub and Rati, Yushub and Rakesh, and then these. So it should just be 8. These two, these two. So from here we have 2. From this one we have 2. So we'll have 4 in total, and then we'll multiply it with 2. So we'll have 8. So we just have 8 cousins. 8 pairs in this relation. These ones are siblings. That's the only clarification, I guess. Everything else we've done so far is correct. Yeah. And since no one has any other doubts, so I think we can end the session. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Practice assignment question 17. One second. So this is the question given, and we've been given two perpendicular roads, and the distance of both the roads from Priya's house, which is considered to be at the origin. The coordinates of P are 0, 0. Priya's house, the coordinates of that are 0, 0. Then the meeting point of the two roads is on the x-axis. That means, let's say one is ax plus by plus c equals to 0. Then the other one, this is 1. Or let's take, it's easier to, if we'll take it in, instead of taking this, let's just take y is equals to mx plus c. Let's just say one equation is this. Then the other one will be y is equals to minus 1 by mx plus c2. And this is c1, right? So these are the equation of two perpendicular lines. And they both are at equal distance from 0, 0, right? So to find the distance of 0, 0 from this first line, you'll have to do y. First, you'll have to write it in this manner. And then you put 0, 0 here. 0, 0 in this this equation. So you'll have minus c1, right? And then you divide it with the square of coefficients of y and x. So it's m square plus 1. So this is distance of y is equals to mx plus 1, c1 from Priya's house or from the origin, right? Similarly, we find the distance of y is equals to minus m, the other equation. Y is equals to minus 1 by m x plus c2 from 0, 0. So this will be this equation. First, you write it in this form, y plus 1 by mx minus c2 equals to 0. Then you put 0, 0 in this equation. So you will get minus c2 here. And then you divide by the square of coefficients of x and y. So it's 1 plus 1 by m square. Right? and these two distances are given to be equal. That means minus C2 by square root of m square plus 1 by m square, and then you have 1 by m here and m here is the same as minus C1 mod m square plus 1 square root, right? Just solving the information that's given to us. We have been given that the distance of both these lines, this line and this line, from 0, 0 is equal. So one distance is this, the other distance is this. We've just equated these two. And then what else is given? It's given that the point of intersection of both of these lies on the x-axis, and it's 5 units from Priya's house. So Priya's house is 0, 0, and the point of intersection lies on the x-axis. That means your y is 0, right? If something lies on the x-axis, that means y coordinate of that point is 0, and its distance, if this is, if Priya's house is at 0, 0, and we say that there is a point on x-axis, that means here on this line we have a point whose distance from 0, 0, Priya's house is 5 units. That means the point should be 5, 0, right? And this is the point where these two lines intersect. So these two lines, this one, L1 and L2, they're also given to be perpendicular to each other. That information we've already used. So these two lines intersect at 5, 0 point.
Ma'am, this can also be minus 5 comma 0. That 5 unit.
Yeah, you can also take the distance is yeah, if it's given to be 5 units, then you can also take minus 5, 0. And then you've been given that these two, because now you have 2 points. So y is equals to mx plus c1, and y is equals to minus 1 by mx plus c2. And both of these lines intersect at 5, 0 or minus 5, 0. So that means if I put 5, 0 here, if I'll put 5, 0 here, I'll get 5m plus c1. And if I'll put, it will be minus 5m plus c2, or this way. Let's not do this. Let's do, let's find the point of intersection of these two from here. So you'll have mx plus c1 let's do this, that thing. 5, 0 is the point of intersection of both of these. So you will put 5 here, you'll have 5m plus c1 equals to 0. And if you put 5 here, you'll have minus 5 by m c2 equals 0. So your c1 is equals to minus 5m and c2 is equals to 5 by m, right? You can put these things in this equation. So you'll have m, c2 is 5 by m, and here you have minus 5m by square root of m square plus 1. So m square plus 1 gets cancelled from both sides. You will be left with 5 by m equals 5 mod m, and 5 gets cancelled from here. So this will be m by mod m is equals to mod m. So mod m squared should be equals to m. So the possibilities here are m equals to plus 1. That's it, right? Yeah. M equals to 1 is the possibility here. We'll have C1 equals to minus 5 and C2 equals to 5. This becomes y equals to minus 5x plus m is 1 and C1 is minus 5, right? And from here you'll get y equals to, the other one you'll get minus x plus C2. You get these two equations. Do we have this in option? X minus 5 and minus x plus 5. Yeah, this is one of the options. And we only did this for y equals to, when we took the point to be 5, 0, right? We took the point here as 5, comma 0, the point of intersection as 5, comma 0. Now, if you will take the point of intersection to be minus 5, comma 0, the things are going to change, right? This equation, these things will change. So from here, you'll get the other equation. Should I do that too? It's the same way. One time you use the point 5, comma 0, the other time use this point, because this point is also a possibility, right? Do I need to do this here, or can you guys do it? Okay, I'll do it here. From here we had, so we had the equations y is equals to mx plus c1 and y is equals to minus 1 by m x c2. Now if I'll substitute this point in these two equations, I'll get 0 equals minus 5m plus c2, and from here I'll get minus 5. So I'll get 5 here, 5 by m plus c2. Here I'll get c1. And then when I'll solve this, I'll have c1 is equals to 5m, c2 equals to minus 5 by m. And our equation here was this one, m mod c2 by square root of m square plus 1. And on the other side, we have c1 square root of m square plus 1, right? Yeah. Then we substitute these values in this equation. So we get m, in place of c2, we have 5 by mod m. And here we have these two anyway get cancelled. The denominator gets cancelled. So you'll have this, and C1 is equals to 5m, right? So you'll have 5 mod of m. That's it. We're getting the same thing from here. M square equals m. You get like m equals to 1 again from here, right? I think that should be it. Then if we're getting the same m from both the points. Is that okay?
Ma'am, the third option is also correct.
This one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This one. We were given two equations, and we then found the distance from the point 0, 0. These two are fine, right? The distances should be fine. And then we had the point of intersection as 5, 0 and minus 5, 0 of these two. We'll put 5 here. Actually, we should be getting m equals to minus 1 from the other things. We must be making a mistake somewhere. It's if you've already been given the options there, then you can actually verify using this information. You just have to verify if these two are perpendicular to each other or not, and then they are at the same distance from 0, 0 or not. What's the other thing given to you? And then you have to find the point of intersection of these. What's the point of intersection of these two? X plus 5 and minus x plus 5. So it will give you x plus 5 equals to 0, right? So it will give you x equals to minus 5. Either you can directly test all of these informations by putting the values here, or let's just try it here. Let's just try to find the direct equation. For the point minus 5 comma 0, we should get m equals to minus 1. Wait, we've not, we've made a mistake here, right? We had to substitute minus 5 here. We have substituted 5 again. So this will be minus 5m plus c1, and this will be 5 by m plus c2, right? So your m, the c1 from here will be equals to 5m. This will be minus 5 by m. If your m is greater than 0, then this will be positive, and you will end up with m and 5 by m and 5m. And if your m is less than 0, you'll end up with m 0, this entire thing. One second. Greater than 0, this is positive, this is going to be negative. So you're going to have minus here. And then because it's negative, this is also minus. And if your m is less than 0, you'll have 5 by m here. Here you'll have positive this. Why is it positive? You've taken m greater than 0. If your m is greater than 0, that means your minus 5 by m is less than 0. And then you have x, mod of x is minus x if your x is less than 0, right? This entire thing, when m is greater than 0, minus 5 by m becomes less than 0. That's why after removing this modulus, you should put a negative sign. And for this one, because your m is greater than 0, 5m is also greater than 0. After removing the modulus sign, you don't need to put a negative sign. So you get this thing. On solving this, you get m is equals to minus 1. That's what I was saying. You should get a minus 1 from here. And if you solve it for m less than 0, if your m is less than 0, this is negative. M is also less than 0. This entire thing becomes positive. So you should have m and then 5 by m here. And on the other side, you should have 5. M is less than 0. This 5m will be, if m is less than 0, that means 5m is also less than 0. That means modulus of 5m will be minus 5m. So this again is going to give you m equals to minus 1. So from here, previously maybe we made a mistake there. We should have gotten m equals to minus 1. And we were getting m equals to 1. So from here, from the point minus 5 comma 0, you should be getting m equals to minus 1. and then we're almost done. Our equations were, what did we have to find? So our equation was y equals to mx plus c1, right? Where c1 was, what was c1? C1 was 5m, c2 was minus 5 by m, and m we have just calculated, it's minus 1, right? That means this equation becomes y equals to minus x plus c1 is 5m, so this should be minus 5, right? This becomes minus 5. And the other equation was y equals to minus 1 by mx plus c2. So minus 1 by m is minus 1, and c2 is minus 5 by m, and m is minus 1. So it should be minus minus plus, so it should be 5. Is this okay? You already have a negative sign here, right? So we should have a positive sign. So these two, this we have found by putting m equals to minus 1, c1 is equals to 5m, and c2 is equals to minus 5 by m in this equation. And this we've gotten by putting these same values in this equation. So we now get these two equations, which are given in option, this option, I guess, C option. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So if no one has any other doubts, can we end the session here? Does anyone have anything else to ask? Okay, then we'll end the session here. Okay. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.